And just like that, we are live. Hopefully you can hear me all right, everyone. If anyone's there, I can't see anyone in chat. I hope everyone's there. Oh, that'd be embarrassing. Well, if you are there, welcome to the stream. Oh, hey, original one. Wowie. Hey, guys. How's it going? Woo, that was stressful. Cool. So sorry for the slight delay, just some technical mishaps, as is always the case. Welcome to the TerraTech stream. I am Matt, I'm the community manager for Pale Studios. I sort of sort out these sort of things and make sure you guys and the players and everyone that plays TerraTech knows what's going on and make sure that everyone's happy. I think I'm doing a good job of that. So we do a weekly stream. We try and mix it up every week. So we'll try and showcase some of the best techs, some of the best stuff that we're doing in the game, also not so we'll show the stuff that we're doing with the game, so new features, stuff that's going to be added, that kind of cool kind of stuff. And so for those that don't know, or those that may have been living under a rock, we recently launched a new update. We released it quite recently, and basically it's got mod support in it. We are... Oh, hang on, sorry, I'm just trying to figure something out. We are... You can mod your game. You can mod TerraTech using officially supported tools that we've developed. I say we, James made, and I'll come on to James in a second. But that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to effectively walk through the whole process of how to create a mod. Without further ado, I have a couple of helpful helpers on the line. Hopefully it works this time. Hopefully you can hear them. We've not done this. Last time we tried it, everything broke. So if things do start to go wonky, just give me a shout in the chat, and we'll try something else. So I'm gonna. Don't know if you can hear me, guys, but I'm gonna turn the music down slightly. James and Rob, please announce yourselves. Fingers crossed. Are you there?
Hello, this is Rob. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. James, are you there? I can see he's there. I can't hear him. Chat, can you hear Rob? Let us know if you just heard Rob chatting there. James may be having some technical difficulties. Rob sounds fine. Yes, it works. Phew.
Excellent.
Rob is chill, guys. Rob is super chill. So I think James is having some difficulties, but that's fine. So I'll do the introductions quickly while hopefully James can sort himself out. I know I'm presenting to everybody, Google. Please be quiet.
Hello.
Are you there, James?
Yes.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, good. So that's James. So Rob will be in chat as well. I'm sure James will probably jump into chat from time to time as well, to cover any questions that I may miss. So let's go through it. So James, for those frequent viewers, will know who James Flan is, and also Rob, I suppose, if you're that frequent. James is... You've been pretty much this... You've developed most of the mod support stuff, right? You're the kind of the brains and the
did all the
behind it.
Did the code for it. So yeah, the functional bits behind it.
Cool. And I like saying this because it's genuinely one of the coolest things I've ever seen. James is responsible for Flan's mod in Minecraft, so he knows a thing or two about the old modding scene. So that's good. So thanks for being on board. And then we've got Rob, who is one of our very good, very talented artists. Rob, what do you do?
As far as modding goes,
Yeah.
not very much. I provided some example assets and pull that together, but James has done the bulk of the work on this.
James is the brain and the brawn in this aspect. So Rob's going to be here providing moral support, but also asking any sort of, because we do delve a little bit into the sort of the art side of things, a bit into textures and that sort of thing. But we'll come into that in a bit later on. So Rob's there mainly to sort of answer those kind of questions. I'm sure James would be able to answer them as well. But two birds with one stone. No, that's the opposite analogy. It's just good to have lots of people here, so I could actually talk to people for a change, because I've been quite lonely the last few streams. So all that said and done, let's just get into it. Let's just start making a mod, shall we? I think that's what we're all here to see and do. This is my desktop. Doesn't it look great? So I'm going to be basically following this document which is a PDF that you can find on our forums. I'm going to try and link it to chat now. Give me a sec. But effectively, this is the sort of how-to guide as to how to create your first mod or your first skin. The sort of terminology is going to get a bit blurry because when we say mod, I might mean skin, and when I say skin, I probably mean mod. But you'll see, it all makes sense. It will all make sense once we've gone through it. So I'm going to go and I'm going to find the thread for which you can find this document, and I'm going to link it in chat now. So here it is. There's the thread on our forums, and this is where you can find the doc. So, like I say, it's just it's a PDF that sort of talks about, or is a step-by-step guide. And this is effectively, I'm going to have this on my other monitor, and I'm basically going to be doing exactly what you guys would do, creating your first mod. So let's just get stuck into it, shall we? Now, annoyingly, I can't see chat, so I'm kind of hoping James and Rob will pick up on any kind of questions that I may have missed. But first things first, let's get loaded into Unity. Here's a new tab. So I'm going to need a web browser. Okay, so firstly we install Unity Hub, which I should already have installed. I'm going to kind of gloss over a couple of the steps because they're just time consuming. Oh, okay. I'm going to open Unity, apparently. This could take a few minutes. So, yeah, so there's a few steps that I'm sort of going to sort of skip over. They're just sort of the usual stuff of installing Unity and that sort of thing. Oh, goodness. Okay, I accidentally opened a Unity project. Great start. So I'm going to actually wait for this to load up. Okay, ignore you saw that. You don't need to see that just yet. We're getting a few steps ahead of ourselves. Firstly, we want to make sure we're installing the mod correctly, or the modding tools correctly. So these are the tools that James has been working on. It's built around Unity, and those that might be familiar, obviously TerraTech has been built using Unity, and they have quite a funny kind of process to use it. So you load into the hub. So this is the hub where you have all your projects and you can manage all your installs. So this is one of the installs that I installed earlier, and this is the one that you need. One of the first steps is you install Unity Hub. This is it. Then you follow a link. This is the link. I'm going to paste it into my browser. Although I already have it installed, I won't need to do it. That's the link you need. Effectively, once you hit enter, that's going to open Unity straight away. Because I already have it installed. And I'm not going to go through this process because it's going to make me reinstall it, and it takes a few minutes. So I'm going to try and skip over that. But because I've already got Unity this version of Unity installed, it won't show the screen that it will pop up. But effectively, you'll get a little pop up in Unity Hub that says what kind of modules you want to install. Make sure you deselect, untick all of the modules, and then just click install. And then this will appear. You'll see a little progress bar at the top here, which is normal, and it'll take a few minutes to install the correct version of Unity that you need. So once that's done, you're then going to create. I'm actually going to try and remove this like I did earlier. Did that work? Remove it from the list. That's fine. Okay, good. So once Unity's all installed, this is an older version. This is an older mod when I was sort of mucking around, but I think it's a bit out of date now. It's sort of using old Unity packages, which we'll now come on to in a minute. Once Unity's installed, we can then select the version number that we want. Again, this is all in the step-by-step guide. So I'm going to create a new project using the version of Unity that we've just installed. I'm going to call it it's probably not going to let me call it this, my first mod, because I've already just done it. Yep, path already exists, great. My other first mod. And that's going to create in my documents folder. You can select any file path you want. I just use that one because that's the one I've got easy access to it. Solid states for the win, top tip. Yeah, so good point. The kind of the roadmap. I mean, this is a roadmap within a roadmap. Effectively, we're kind of looking at what we're going to do with mod support in the future. This is the very first iteration of that, which was creating skins. It's sort of like the first pass, I suppose. So there will definitely be more to come. Again, it's too early in the day to know what is going to be kind of worked on next. We need to sort of figure out how this goes first and trying to learn from what we've done from this first iteration. But that's always the plan, is to sort of build on it like we've done with the base game of TerraTech. Is just to try and make it better. Cool. So now that we have that, I can then open up my downloads folder. You will see here I don't have them downloaded. I'm going to re-download them. Actually, are they in my? Okay, here they are. Fine. So you can download the Steamworks.net Unity package and the TerraTech Mod Tool Unity package. These you'll see them there in my folder. I've already had them downloaded. Just follow the links. The links are in the PDF. You can just hit those links. The Steamworks.net Unity package will just send you straight to the download file, and it will download it straight from that link. The TerraTech Mod Tool Unity package will take you to a Google Drive, and then in the top right, I'll show you what that looks like actually, because that's just interesting to know. In the top right corner, there's just a download link that will download all the assets that you need into one handy folder or file. So this is what it should look like. Here we go. Sorry, guys. Oh, come on, Matt. Click on the right thing. Here we go. So we've hosted this just on Google, and it'll take you straight to this folder, this page. You want to just hit the download button at the top right. That's literally all you do. Hit the download button, and it'll start a download. To be honest, it doesn't take too long to do. I just wanted to already have it preloaded here for when we need it. Okay, cool. So we've installed Unity. We've started a new project, and we've downloaded the 2 Unity packages that we need. That's it. That's all you need to do to get started. The next thing, now we're in Unity, is to import those Unity packages. So let's get on with that. So I'm going to go to Assets. I'm going to go to Import Package, Create Package. So Assets, Import Package, Custom Package. I'm going to do the Steamworks one first. It's the same process for both. I'm just going to go through the Steamworks one first. I'm sure James can talk a little bit more about what these are and what they do, if you wouldn't mind, James. Nice. You'll notice as well. I'm sorry, James. I'm hitting all. Just to make sure that all the modules are selected, and then hitting import. But go ahead. I love Mod Designer. It's my favorite panel. It's like top 5 easily. Cool. So that's both modules are. I'm going to just move my mod manager over here, just because it's a nice, easy to access place. That needs to go there. I need to get OBS open again. Here we go. Right, good stuff. Okay, I can see chat now. Easy peasy. Okay, nice. So those are the 2. That's literally it. Those are the setup steps. It's that simple. It's you install Unity Hub, install the correct version of Unity, start your project, download the 2 Unity packages, and then import them. It's that simple. This is why it's good to have developer supported mod tools, is because they just work, and they work well because we know what we're doing. So we might as well just start making our first mod/skin. Or mod and skin. So you're in the Unity editor. For those that don't know, this is what Unity looks like. This is a sort of this is the modded version of the TerraTech mod support version of Unity, because we've added some. But this is at a very basic level. This is what Unity looks like. So to create the first mod that we're gonna make, which can literally top right, create new mod. I'm going to call it. I'm going to call this one my first mod, and we're going to hit create. So name it and then hit the plus, and it's going to take a second. Hopefully, there you go. My first mod. It's a bit bunched up, but you get the idea. I'm actually going to expand that a little bit. So this is my first mod. I literally just made my first mod. It's that easy, guys. Now we just need to add stuff to the mod. So like James mentioned, the first iteration is skins. So this, on the left-hand side, the contents inspector is going to show you what we can do with this mod. So we've got skins, blocks, and corporations. These are all TBC. These other two are TBC. That's not to determine if they're going to come yet. I mean, if you even click on them, they're not implemented yet. They may not even be implemented next. We don't know. So this is the mod. This is kind of what the mod looks like. You can, the first obviously pass we're going to go through is a skin, so I'm going to just call this, like I did with my first one, I'm going to call it my first skin. I'm just going to hit create, and there's my first skin that is part of my first mod. So simple, it's scary simple. And this is it. This is where we get into the kind of nitty gritties of actually adding textures and all that good stuff to the skin. So let me just double check I've gone over that correctly. Yeah, I believe so. James, I've not missed anything, have I? Cool, nice. Let's start making a skin. So we have an empty skin. You'll need to make. I'm just reading out the steps as I go, just because I'm keeping up with it. You'll need to make some textures to go in it. Okay, so that's what we're going to do now. We're going to make some textures. I'm just going to show you really quickly what I've done in the past. It's actually this one here, but I'm going to show you how I got to that. So with the Unity package, this is in Photoshop, by the way. In the Unity package, we've given you a load of sample textures that are effectively the stock corporation textures. They're the ones that come with the game. They look kind of, well, they are this. This is one of them, right? So I'm just going to show you what I've done to this particular texture to make it to mod it basically. Now, Rob, I'm correct in saying that did you design these textures or? Okay. Could no one hear me? Oh man, I'm an idiot. They can hear me. They can't hear you guys. Oh no. Give me a second, guys. Audio input capture. Actually, I'm just going to add. Why is that muted? Is that better? Can you start talking? Oh, that's not working. Let's try desktop audio. Can I try that now?
This is Rob, can you hear me?
Okay, well that was annoying. After all that,
so
no one could hear you.
An incredibly detailed and very interesting bit of spiel about how the textures were created.
Better repeat yourself. It was a good rehearsal there, Rob. You seem to know what you were talking about.
So yes, I was basically saying that the way that the textures are done for the various corporations are a little bit different just because of the time that they were done and the thinking behind them at the time. for example, the first one that went in, the GSO one, it was assumed that each block would have a separate bit of texture. So each block is mapped into a certain area. But that changed over time, and then other blocks used the same bits of texture, and it became a bit distorted how the notion of what a single block was going to use. With GeoCore, that was made a little bit better by dividing the texture up better, but it was still the same sort of idea that individual blocks would use individual bits. You could still see there's kind of bits of tire and bits of scoop that are used on that one. We changed it later on for the better future to a kind of different way of doing it altogether, where we'd have one area that was mapped across all blocks, which would enable us to put more detail into the texture. But so it's just something to be aware of when you're making skins, that different corporations work in slightly different ways, and it's definitely worth trying it out on a lot of blocks to make sure it does what you want it to do.
Good stuff. Okay, nice. Good to know. Okay, so I am literally going to go over and show what I did for when I first sort of had a play around with skins, just to get to grips with it, and then hopefully we can go in a bit more detail about and kind of mess around with some of the Venture and Hawkeye ones, because I think they may be a bit more fun. But literally, my first time, so this is the texture that we use. This is the albedo texture that we used for GeoCore. I'm going to go into my edit. I'm literally, we're in Photoshop, and I can mess around with this image quite nicely. So I'm going to change the color using the hue and saturation filter to what color do I like? I'm going to go dark blue, sort of dark blue. And this is going to change the color of the whole texture, right? I'm not changing any. I'm not sort of changing any areas or anything of the texture palette whatsoever. I'm literally just changing the color of the whole texture. This is incredibly basic. This is just so I could get in my own mind, get my head around what it is that I'm doing, and sort of export some sort of mod. So I'm going to save this as a PNG in the correct folder. Let's go to the correct folder here. The first mod. I'm going to James. We actually say this in the guide, don't we, where we need to save it. It's a good idea to copy all the textures from the particular corporation you're making. It's good for into the assets, mods, your mod name.
Sorry, Matt, a couple of questions.
Yep.
Somebody's asking if GIMP works. Yes, GIMP would be a great alternative to Photoshop because it's free. Raf's asking, was the pre-layered skins released? We have talked about releasing a kind of a layered version, because some of it, like this is a good example of a skin that isn't easy to edit, because you can't just use a paint bucket like you can with Venture or Better Future. So we may well, if we can get the time, release some sort of much simpler masked versions that will allow you to fill the bits that you need to fill.
Cool. So I've effectively made my first texture, and I'm sure Rob will be screaming internally about how badly I've done. But this is just purely for demonstration purposes. I'm going to apply the same color adjustment to the icon, just so it's sort of consistent. This is the icon that will appear in game. All will become clear in a moment. I'm going to save that as. Am I in? Okay, cool. Let's go. Mods. My first mod. It should be in there, right? Okay, let's just stick it in here. Blue. Cool. Okay, so when we head back to Unity, I should be now able to find my my two new things I've made. So there's the icon. So I'm just going to add this to my GSO. God darn it. Let me start that again. I'm going to go to GeoCorp because I'm making a GeoCorp skin. So you can select what kind of corporation you want. So I'm going to make a GeoCorp skin. It's going to have the GeoCorp icon that I've just done with my blue, sort of adjustment. I'm now going to add this to the. I'm going to add the albedo texture that I've just done, the blue one. Now I've not personally played around with the other types of textures, the emissive, the metallic, or the smoothness, mainly because I feel like those elements already match what I've done. I've not changed too much of the corporate. I'm not going for a different type of texture. For example, I literally just changed the color. So if I was to do like a wooden texture, for example, I would bump up the smoothness. And now, again, Rob would know a lot more about this, and so if you can explain it in a bit more detail. I'd bump down the metallic so it's not as shiny, and also it doesn't want to reflect as much light, which is what the emissive palette or emissive texture does. Rob, I feel like I'm butchering it. Does that all make sense?
So in this case, if you're just changing the color and you're happy with how shiny it is, then you don't need to adjust the other textures. You can use them as is. The metallic and the smoothness textures. So metallic, ideally, it should be either black or white. It should be black if it's not metal, white if it is metal. But in reality, we use different shades of grey just to make it look better in game, because things aren't always black and white like that. So, but that would give you a good starting point, is to make it, if it's an actual metal, then make it white, and if it's not, make it black. And then the smoothness is exactly what it says. It's how smooth that appears on a scale from black to white. So if you make it black, it will be completely rough, and if you make it white, it will be completely shiny, like chrome. If you made your metallic white and your smoothness white, you'd get chrome, and then you just knock that down to different shades of grey to make it less smooth. And really, you never want completely black or white for the smoothness, because things in the real world aren't completely smooth or completely rough. So it's worth playing with values and seeing what you can get out of it.
Good stuff. Thanks for that, Rob. Okay, so as you may have seen, I have created my first skin, and it looks amazing. I'm really proud of that. So once you've sort of applied all your textures, there are, like I said, there's 4 textures, and then you can add an icon. The albedo is the main one you want to be focusing on to begin with. That'll give you kind of an idea about what kind of color scheme you want to go for. I'm going to go into a bit more detail about what this texture palette, what is on the texture, because you may have seen on here, that's just not one texture. That's the game references each portion of this image for the texture. Robert, am I right in thinking what's it called? What's the term? Something mapping.
UV mapping.
UV mapping. Thank you. But I'll ask you to come into a bit more detail in that in a minute. What I'm going to do now is just quickly go over what we've done with this mod. So I'm happy that this is done. I'm happy that I've created something that looks wicked. So basically, I'm just going to export this so it's ready to go. The game, the modding tool is happy with it all. James is putting this sort of, the check marks, you're good to go. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to export it to the game. So once your textures are finished and the skin data has all your textures assigned to them, to the texture slots, you can build the mod and start testing it in game. For local testing, enter the path for your TerraTech folder. So we need to find the TerraTech for the path to TerraTech. So I'm going to go into my library. I'm going to find TerraTech. I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to go to browse local files. It's going to bring up a little folder. This is what for some reason it says TerraTech beta. It shouldn't say TerraTech beta, but let's just use this folder anyway. That's the folder name. Unfortunately, it doesn't do it by default. I don't know why. James would know more about why it doesn't do it by default. It uses the
we have a task to go and we'll find that automatically, but it just hasn't got done
okay,
yet.
Cool. So this is just a slightly manual process. Like James said, we're going to address this. But yeah, basically you find the path in Steam, like I've just done. You copy where the path is, which is this path here, and then literally just going to hit export. It's going to do its thing. It's going to take a minute just to bundle it all together and make it look nice.
The thing about TerraTech Beta, I think that's just based on when you picked up the game. If you picked it up before 1.0, then your save file, your install file is beta, and if you picked it up after, it's not. But it works either way. You just need to just don't be surprised if you have beta or not.
Got ya. So I get a little pop-up message that says I need to drag the folder that we've just created into a separate folder, and thankfully it opens both folders that I need.
I hate this so much. This was a problem I could not get past. That Windows doesn't let you move stuff into certain folders. So.
Well, anyway, let's just do it anyway. It's quite nice just to sort of drag it over. So this is the mod that we've created. You can see the in the directory here, and this is under the first mod. So I'm just going to drag this whole thing over. So the idea being, if I was to have multiple skins in this mod, they'd all be bundled into that same mod, right? They'd all be in this little folder. I've only made one skin for now, but it's there. So this now is in the correct directory for the game. So if I now load into TerraTech, I'm going to hit play, and it's going to load up for me. We will now see this skin that I've just made in game. I'm going to... Okay, that should be on repeat anyway. Nice. Cool. Version 1.3.11, guys. It's there. You can see it. So once I've loaded this, I'm then going to go in and I'm going to try and make a... Oh, that is loud. TerraTech. Be quiet. There we go. Okay, so let's just load into a quick R&D labs, and I'm going to show you exactly what the skin that I've just made with these fair hands looks like in game. So I have a TerraTech loaded up. I'm just going to load him in, and hit the paint button, and go to the TerraTech tab, and there it is. Oh, I just love it when stuff works. And there it is. I made that. I mean, I didn't do much because I'm not that arty, but you know, that's how easy, that's how straightforward it is to create a skin in TerraTech using the official mod tools that we've made. You know, pretty cool, right, guys? Right, guys. Thanks for having my back. And it's that simple. That's how you do it. So that's how we've exported the game. We've exported the mod locally, which works. So we're happy with that. We can now export it or share it or publish it even to the Steam Workshop. So I'm going to read through the steps again just to make sure I'm on the right path. If you wish to change the preview image that will display when people view your mod on the workshop, you can edit the preview PNG in your mods folder. It must be under 1 megabyte. Oh, okay. So do I want to do that? I might just change it to blue, staying on theme.
Got a question from Mark. They want to know whether it works in co-op, and it does. If you are subscribed to some mods on the workshop, so they have to be workshop mods so that the other players can get them. If you are subscribed to some workshop mods, then when people join you in co-op, they will download those mods automatically. It will also match up the skin IDs internally, so that when you paint a skin blue, everyone else sees it as blue. So it should all work. So
they don't need to download any mods or anything, no?
So they will automatically be downloaded. When you go into the lobby browser, you will see any server that's got mods running will have a little spanner icon next to it, and it will have a number saying how many mods. When you join, it downloads those mods, but it doesn't subscribe you to them, so they don't hang around. So Steam has this feature where it can just download mods for you to play a server, and then once you finish on that server, they're just gone. It doesn't subscribe you to them, so they're not in your single player games or anything.
Oh, very clever. Okay, I'm going to go back into add this preview file into my mod. Here we go, mods. I'm just going to remove that and save it there.
And this preview file, you can make it anything you want. This is the thing that shows up on the workshop as a preview of your workshop item. So you could have it as a banner with a sort of word art name, or you could do like you could take a photo in the game of 3 of your skins in the pack, sort of next to each other, and You can do whatever you want, really. So.
As long as I mean, this is just going off the guide. As long as it's under 1 megabyte, then it's fine.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Right, I'm conscious of time, so let's crack on. When you're ready to publish your mod to the Steam Workshop, click Register Steam Workshop item, which is this button here. Once you have a Steam Workshop ID registered for your mod, you can enter change notes and click Publish Mod to Steam. This will update the workshop.
And now, once you've clicked that Register Steam Workshop button, you'll see it's got a Workshop ID written there.
Yep.
That is now tied to that mod. So you can keep publishing updates and stuff. As long as you don't delete the files or anything, you can keep pushing updates for your mod.
Beautiful. But it's ready to go. I'm happy with it. I mean, it is literally my first pass, my initial release, as it were. So I'm going to publish mod to Steam. And it's going to effectively use the Steam account that I'm logged in with, correct, James?
Yes, you have to be logged into Steam to use the tool. Otherwise, it will put an error in the console, and you wouldn't have been able to register the ID.
Yeah.
You weren't
cool.
logged in.
So now that is on the Steam Workshop. So under Steam, I'm going to head over to the workshop. Fingers crossed. It may take a while to propagate.
I think it is default hidden, and you need to make it visible.
Oh, okay.
So I think if you go back and go to your your items, it will be there. Your files?
Yeah. Here we go. Files you've posted. My first mod. Here he is. What a beaut. To navigate to... And then I'm just going to subscribe. I don't want to... you're James, right? It is currently hidden. I'm just going to hit subscribe to it. To my own mod. I realise I already have it in game. So maybe if I back out... If I delete it from the folder, it should just go.
And there are additional settings, same as Workshop for any other snapshot or for any other game. Once you've uploaded it, you can add more screenshots, add descriptions and stuff like that. So that's not done from our Unity tool, but you get to do that on the Steam interface. It should be fairly straightforward to do from there.
Cool. So basically, because just to show that, well, I could have actually. Would that work? I'm gonna restart the game. I'm just thinking, do I need to? I probably should remove.
You do need to restart.
Okay, cool. I've also just removed the. I'm just gonna remove this mod. It's still. Is it because it's in Unity? But it doesn't matter. Let's just load into TerraTech. It should. Come on. Come on, TerraTech. You're not running, are you? Or is it because it's open in Unity? No.
It could be Photoshop. It's notorious for not letting go of files.
But that wouldn't keep.
No, I think it might be that because the Unity is running, that counts as TerraTech because it has uploaded something under the TerraTech ID.
Yeah, it literally just closed after I'd hit stop. It closed Unity behind, but it's fine. We're kind of done with Unity for a minute. Just while I get these mods loaded in. Hopefully I can actually delete it now as well. Nope. Now? What could possibly be using it? It doesn't matter. Hopefully it works anyway. And you can see both the mod that I've installed locally and also the one that I've created and subscribed to on Steam. Is an image open from inside the folder? I don't believe so. I've closed Photoshop. I've closed literally everything. Doesn't matter. Let's load into R&D labs and see what they look like. Huh, okay. There is only one. after all that. That's weird. I'm not quite sure why it's done that.
Yeah, if you're subscribed to something with the same name as one that's there locally, I think you just get the local one.
Okay.
The idea being that if you are a content creator and you are editing a pack that you have already got uploaded, you don't want to have to unsubscribe from it every time you want to do local edits and testing. So I think local ones take precedence. I should double check that. But yeah, you can. I think I've set it up so that you can tweak your mod without having to re-upload it every time to the workshop. You just keep sending like the local copy over to your game and then testing it and sort of keep trying it locally before you submit to Steam.
Got it. I think I've deleted the local version, so I'm just going to reload TerraTech now, and hopefully the Steam version will be on there. So we're coming up to, there's about 10 minutes left, so we've sort of gone through over most of the, well, we've gone through all the points. I'd like to go into a bit more detail if we can about the texture pack, because I feel like that's going to be, that might trip a lot of people up, and actually what the textures, how the texture works, and kind of what you want to be trying to edit and change about each texture. So hopefully we can, once I've proven that this is here, I'll go through one of the texture packs with Rob. And we can, we can shed some light on that for you guys. Yay! There it is. Okay, yeah. So this is the one from Steam, right? Maybe I should have made a slight different thing to it, but that's fine. That looks wicked. I'm happy with that. Lovely, jubbly. There you go. My mod works. It's now on Steam. It's hidden, so don't go and try and find it. Not that you'd want it anyway. There you go. Modding. Yay! We did it! Woo! Without any major hiccups. So let's look back at some of these textures, because there's a lot to get into here. So let's just get Photoshop back open, and we can show what they do. So one of my biggest, like I said earlier, when you're faced with one of those texture sort of, especially the albedo ones, when you're faced with one of those textures, there's a lot of stuff going on in these textures, right? So I know what they're referencing, I know where these things appear in game, but I don't know how the game knows how to point to that particular part of the texture pack. Rob, are you able to just talk through kind of how each texture works and exactly how it kind of corresponds to how it looks in game? Does that make sense?
I think so. So when we build a block, we do what's called UV mapping, which is telling the model how this texture should be applied to it. So each face on the model gets assigned to a portion of the texture. So for example, with a GSO 2x2 block, we'd select all of the side of it and we'd apply it to that square in the top left. But is going to then apply it with yellow pack to the texture. Cool. This might be a bit in depth.
No, this is good.
No, I mean that Wikipedia might be a bit in depth.
Guys, if you wanted to know, here's what UV mapping is. I've just Wikipedia'd it. It's easy. It's just 3D modeling process of projecting your 2D image onto a 3D model surface, or texture mapping. It's easy. But that's effectively, in a nutshell, right? It is just, just wrapping it around a 2D image around a 3D object. Yes. Lovely.
So then, a bit of deciding on which area of the text you want to go where, and then how you map that. But for some corporations like Venture, for example, because we have a very black colour that's sort of spanned across whole areas of the model, it's very easy just to change the colour of the red, and everything that's red on the model will change. It's a bit more difficult with something like GeoCore. For example, the top left bit, you can see it's got a bit of noise and a bit of texture on it, which if you map it to a single block flat will look fine, but if you start mapping larger areas of block to that, you'll find that it stretches. And because it's a bit of noise, it's not too bad, but you'll see with something like Hawkeye, which has a more definite camouflage pattern on, if you start stretching that across large areas of block, it will start to look quite bad. So Ventures, if you're new to this and you want to have a play, then Venture's probably the best one to start with because you can't really go far wrong.
Yeah, if you compare the two, there's just so much more going on, and therefore you're more likely to fail. Not fail, but like get something wrong.
You don't fail, but you're more likely to get results that will work across all of the blocks. Things like GSO, you'll find that you may, a bit in the top left on the GSO, if you could bring that up.
Yeah, of course.
Which is the kind of, you'll recognise it as the standard 1x1 block with a white stripe on. And
Ooh.
Yeah.
I had it briefly. I just think having it in Photoshop means we can do stuff. So yeah.
So the bit in the top left there with the white stripe is the standard 1x1 block, and you'll find that if you change that to something else, it will work on a 1x1 block. But you might find that white stripe has been used in a weird place you hadn't expected, and if you put any kind of detail on there, you'll find it doesn't work everywhere. I mean, it's one of the reasons why when we did the cross-core packs that we've put on the workshop, they're pretty flat colour, and the main reason for that is that if you start putting Hawkeye detail onto other corporations like Venture, for example, it just won't work because the blocks will be UVs will be stretched all over the place. Which you might be happy with that, and it's fine, but we didn't want to do that, so that's why we've gone for the flat colours that match those corporations. Unfortunately, in order to change the UV mapping on some of these blocks is quite involved. GSO, for example, the source files for some of those have been lost, and they were used older versions of Max, and the way they're exported is slightly different. The animation is done, so we can't actually export them again. So we're not really able to. We had a bit of a go of some of them. We've done most of the blocks in the game. It's just GSO that isn't really working that well. But they're different corporations. They're done in different ways, so you're never going to get a texture that's going to work across everything.
Yeah. I think that's an interesting thing though about just the game dev process in general, is that your first pass at something, you may at the time be thinking, well, this is the best way that we can do it right now, but obviously then through the process of development, and by its very nature, the word development, you're cycling through and you're making the process more efficient and better. So yeah, like you say, the texture pack, the textures are a good example of that. The GSO base texture is just all over the place. You can see the difference between Venture, which is one of the latest ones, versus the GSO. That's crazy. That's such a difference, and that's just through experience and knowledge and just perfecting the process to know, well, let's just make this more simple, and it just simple is better in these sort of instances, which I just find quite, just as my own sort of intrigue I find really interesting. Cool. Okay, so
if you do want to play with kind of more detailed patterns, then Better Future is the one to go for, because that they've actually been mapped in a way that allows that. So that big area of white on the left.
Yeah, let's have a look at that.
You can put a bit of detail on that. If we don't go crazy, but you can put a bit in there.
So there you go, guys. Better Future would be the better one to go with if you want to go crazy and add loads of sort of furry textures. I mean, just as I'm not going to try and export this because I don't want to. It'd probably take too long. But I'm going to just add a new layer. Where is it? Here we go. How do you know? Does it really matter where it goes, Rob? Can I just plonk it over all this white area?
If you press W, it will select all that white area for you. So if you escape that. You're okay.
Go on. Hit W.
Press W, click on the white.
Yeah. Ah, nice.
Selected all of the white pixels.
It has indeed.
Change those to whatever you want.
Hey Rob, how do I change them? For Photoshop, full disclosure, Photoshop isn't my forte.
You can press Alt Delete.
Alt Delete. Oh, it's gone to the. Oh, okay, right. If I wanted to add I'm going to add. Okay, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to paste it as its own layer. I'm going to add. This is okay. I know what I'm doing now. I'm going to add a style to it. I'm going to add fur, and that fur is going to be zebra. Actually, I'm intrigued. I want to know what this is going to look like. So I'm going to save this as Where did I put this? Not in here. That's for sure. So we're going to go to assets, mods, first mod, skins, better future, zebra. Gonna hit save. Yes, maximize compatibility, please, Photoshop. I'm gonna then load into Unity because I forgot I'd already closed it. My other first mod. 4 minutes left. Any other questions while I have James and Rob on the line?
Green thing about changing a specific part of a texture. I mean, it's hard to say individually because different parts are used in different places on different corporations. But really, you just need to kind of experiment and find out which bit of the texture works on which bit of the text. So if it's a tire you're looking for, once you've found that bit, that's the bit that you change, and it should change all tires because we do tend to have a bit of consistency within a core. So if we've got a bit of texture that we use for tyres, we probably will use that bit for all the tyres. So if that's the bit that you want to change, then it should affect all blocks.
Oh, where'd my zebra skin go? Let me try and resave it.
Did you save it as a PSD?
I'd probably save it as a PSD because that is the kind of thing I would do. Yeah, I did. That's why it asked me to maximise compatibility. That was me getting all snarky with Photoshop. Okay, right, let's try again. It's still not there. I'm going to check my folders. My first mod, assets, mods, my first mod, skins.
Unity hasn't picked it up yet. Click back on Unity. If it doesn't pick it up, press Control R. It's a way to force it to refresh.
Have I put it in the right folder?
It looks like it.
The GeoCorp ones aren't in there, though.
Yeah.
Have I put it in the right folder? I've not put it in the right. Have I put it in the right folder? All right, let me double check the old how-to guide. Assets. I put it in the wrong folder. I'm a doofus.
No, that is the right folder.
No, yeah, sorry, yeah,
that's where the sample ones come from. But
how weird. Mods. First mod. No, I'm in the wrong folder.
it's my other first mod.
Yeah. See, I knew this would trip me up. There we go. Right. Assets, mods, my first mod. There we go. Right, here we go. File, save as. First mod, assets, mods, skins. Don't save it as a Photoshop. There, nice. Save. Yes. Unity. It's done something. Yeah, I think it's in there now. Here we go, guys. This is what Better Future would look like if they went down a different path in life. That's beautiful. I've never been more proud of myself. I think I have to export this in the game. I think I'm going to have to do it. Files, browser files. Okay, so that's the folder that I'm going to export it to. I'm going to select all. I'm going to delete that.
We had a question about whether official modding is just skins, and so the answer to that is, at the moment, with the Steam Workshop flow, it's just skins. That's all you can do in there. But we haven't shut anything down. There is still an unofficial community of sort of user-added mods. Using TerraTech mod manager made by Whitepaw, you can still download that. It still works. So you can get your custom blocks and any sort of script mods. So things like adding water or anything like that. That's all available. It's all still available in the TerraTech mod manager. I will be moving that stuff over and sort of giving more official support for that. bit by bit.
Yeah, this isn't to supersede, or we're not in the business of like removing other player, anything that's any legacy stuff. If anything, we want to try and get as close to that as we can, because that's been worked on for quite a while. Cool. Okay. Let's jump in. But yeah, so right now, yes, like we said earlier, the first iteration of mod support is you can create a first skin. It's still to be confirmed what the next iteration of mod support is going to look like, to be honest. We don't know. But this is the first pass, and as it stands, I think it's... I mean, as you've seen, it's very cool. It's a very cool process. Ignore the fact that I've got the wrong icon. I couldn't bother to change it. Oh my goodness. Hey Rob, do you know if Art are looking for a new artist in your team?
Well, it could be after seeing that.
Finally, I found my calling in life, guys. I'm moving to art. Look at it. It's so pretty, and it's perfect. Right?
Yeah.
Look at the wheels. Why are the wheels like that all of a sudden? I don't care. It looks so cool. Pretty proud of myself.
Did you just copy the Geocorp and then paste?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So there's still some Geocorp. I've still got the emissive metallic and smoothness from Geocorp actually. I don't know. I quite like it. If I was being a professional artist, I would have done that, but I'm an idiot. All right, cool. Well, there you go. Zebra better future. Zebra future. Guys, we did it. I'm so relieved. That went off relatively issue-free. Thanks, everyone, for stopping by. If you can still hear me, I'm not too far away from my microphone. Any questions I think we're going to leave it there. I think that's kind of everything that we can go into today. We'll try and pick up with this again later. But that's pretty much it. Big thanks to James and Rob for stopping by. They were a great help. Couldn't have done it without you. Literally, mod support wouldn't be what it is without you guys. So big thumbs up. Yeah. Guys, thanks for stopping by. I'm going to leave it there. Have a great week, everyone. We'll try and do, I think, probably like a community core next week. I think that'd be a good fit. So check the forums. I'm going to relink the... Nope, don't link that. That's my directory to my Steam folder. Everyone can access my Steam folder, right? Here it is. Official mod support. OBS, where are you? Head over to that forum thread. That's got all the information you need on how to create your first mod. You can use... I'm going to re-upload this to YouTube, so if you want to follow along with me, you can do so. There'll also be a... I'll try and do a proper how-to video, that's sort of a step-by-step guide, video guide on how to create a mod. But until then, have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
See you around.
Bye, guys.
Come on, see you. Bye.
Are we not live? Going offline now.